Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So, China's Xi Jinping has clearly been reinstated for another 5 years. That kind of tells me that, his power is consolidated. I don't know if he's going to leave now. But something that's on his mind is creating a digital yuan. And what that would mean is it's not that he just wants that. He wants it to be, adopted by all of Asia. He feels that their reliance on the US dollar is a weakness. So that's something that he would like to implement. I don't know if that would work. Just looking at Japan, other economies, that could wind up being a problem. So I think it's high hopes, but we'll see. You never know. I think the digital yuan is definitely going to happen. Whether or not it becomes the Asia-wide vision that he wants, I don't know about that. North Korea is basically at war, right? They're leveraging their hacking arm, which is the Lazarus Group. And right now, they've set their sights on Japanese crypto companies. So if I were them, I'd beef up that security because attacks have been on the rise. Something else that I would be paying attention to is specific kinds of attacks have been on the rise. Phishing attacks, social networking attacks, those kinds of things. I think those are just probes. I think they're just probes, and sooner or later, you're going to start to see much more concerted efforts to get into those companies and extract more money that they use to develop nuclear arms. So I'm just wondering how long it's going to be before, countries band together and go after the Lazarus Group. Something else that's pretty interesting to me is South Korea. South Korea is looking to implement digital IDs. Now, that would have a huge impact on the financial infrastructure, right? A really positive impact, as a matter of fact. But there are also, questions around security and, other things that would be seen as not so beneficial. So they're still trying to figure out, what would be the benefit versus the risk, right? I think it could happen. I think there's a strong opportunity it could happen, especially in a tech-savvy country like South Korea. Why? Because there would be huge adoption. I think it would be quick. I really think it would be quick. So I think they're in the middle of doing a lot more research to figure out how could they do it, what would be the risk, how could they secure these things, yada yada yada. Because obviously a digital ID, it's very important, not to say the least, and you would not want that to be able to be stolen. And how would you work that? If you have a digital ID card, something physical, it's harder for a person. I mean, it's not necessarily harder for a person to snatch it, but it's easy for a person to go get a replacement. It's easy to find out, where the other one is, and not where it is, but how it could be used to steal. Basically, identity theft. So all of those things, there's a lot to unpack there from a technology perspective, from a social perspective. There's just a lot, which is why I'm rambling. Because I'm actually interested in that kind of thing, right? Because imagine what you'd be able to do paying taxes and who's paying fair share, all those kinds of things. Financial markets would probably see a boon if there was a digital ID. Somebody's going to make the first move, and South Korea could be it. Now, there are a couple of Bitcoin miners that are at risk of being delisted. There is Digihost. They just received notice that they can be delisted. They've been trading under $1 for over 30 consecutive days, or for 30 consecutive days. That is the standing rule. There are other miners that are in the same space. Another one that's being looked at by Nasdaq is Mawson Infrastructure Group, and Bit mining is being looked at by the New York Stock Exchange. That's 3 Bitcoin miners. 3 that have not been faring well economically. Just paying attention to things like that. What would it mean for their assets, meaning not just the equipment, but the actual Bitcoin that they have? What would that do? If they were to be delisted, if they would go out of business. I mean, I don't know if they're going to go out of business, but being delisted is a big deal. So I want to pay attention to that just because of the impact that it could have going forward. everything that I'm talking about today is not necessarily a today impact. These are things that I've just been looking at in the news that I think could be midterm impacts, right? Like, I think that you could hear more news in short and midterm depending on, what it is. So like a delisting from Nasdaq or New York Stock Exchange could happen, in near to midterm, right? Most likely nearer to midterm. But the impacts would be felt midterm. Just as an example. So Coinbase looking to get back their global reach, not get back, or increase their global reach, I would say. Because I didn't know this. I mentioned this yesterday. They used to be number one in the world, and then Binance came along and just ate all their lunch, left the dishes and everything. So now that, Coinbase is trying to get back some of that international luster. Now, they're looking to increase their European footprint, right? So they have actually snatched this guy, Daniel Siefert, from Solarisbank. And he's being tapped to lead that European expansion, which has already kicked off. In September, there's a specific path that you should take when you're doing a European expansion, and Coinbase is already there. They already got, licensed in the Netherlands. Now they're looking to do the same in France and Spain. There's a specific path for least path of resistance, right? And that's the path. And that's what they're looking to do. So it's going to be interesting what else they do to move into those markets. Do they buy other companies, invest in other companies? Do they start, just offering their services in other countries? Like, what is it going to be that's going to get them there? So I'm expecting Coinbase to actually step up their international game in a big way. You don't just snatch somebody from a German fintech and not be looking to do something in a big way. All right. Anyway, let's get to the numbers. It's kind of interesting. Some numbers have come back. Not huge, but it's pretty interesting. So if we start here, let's refresh this data, right? Here are your top winners and losers. Right here are your top losers. Everybody else, so this is 9% and 6%. Not that I care about either one of those projects. Everything else is, in terms of losing, is below 5%. My 5% rule. Then on the winning side, you've got all the way up to here, right? Who's in this area that I would care about? Pocket Network, worthy of a mention, 23%. Quant, worthy of mention, 14%. So that's a very big deal. I don't know anything about Casper Network, no idea whatsoever. First heard their name I want to say 3 weeks ago, but I haven't done any research into them. None at all. Trading up 12%. That's interesting. Maybe I'll do some research, but I have a pretty broad spectrum of coins right now that I'm paying attention to, so I don't know. But we'll see. Fear and Greed Index, still bouncing around the 20 area, right? You're going from 20 up to, in recent weeks, I think the highest was 26, right? In any event, we're still in either extreme fear or fear. Again, we're just going to be bouncing around here for a while because there's nothing going on right now that's becoming a catalyst for growth. Right now, there could be a change in the jobs market. I've been hearing things that, Goldman Sachs isn't just doing their normal every year shave off the bottom 20% deal. They could actually be looking to restructure. So that could be a big deal. So don't know yet. Don't have any clear details on that. Other financial institutions are looking to, kind of trim the herd, if they will, cull the herd. So I really don't know, what's going to happen in that space. There are still tons of jobs out there and still not enough people to necessarily fill the kinds of jobs that are out there, right? So we'll see what happens. That's what I'm paying attention to right now. Let's see. Bitcoin still trading below my inner band. Again, my inner band is right here depicted by the green lines right there. And my outer band are the blue ones. Now, the reason why this looks kind of orangish is because you've got, red and green right there, and it's just kicking off a strange color. It's touching my lower band, my lower portion of my inner band, but really it's below. It's below. And look at this, it's been a straight line. But there's also been not a lot of volume. Volume seems to be picking up, and it seems like when volume picks up, seems to be going in the right direction, but still not high growth. Everything just moving sideways. I heard the best term over the past few days, and it says that it's not necessarily an investor's market, it's a trader's market. And that's true for the stock market, and it could be true for crypto. Like I said, there have been places where you could make some wins, not huge wins, but 5-10% here, 5-10% there. There are things that you could be doing that could be doing that. So if I were you, I'd be doing my own research. That's what I'm doing. I'm not just doing DCA, right? DCA is mostly for my holding wallets, but trading ideas I'm using on other wallets that I have specifically for trading. All right, so that's what I'm paying attention to. Now let's take a look at the big picture. Give it a couple of seconds to refresh. There you go. And things are looking green. What I notice right now is Ethereum, which had touched below 1200, is up to 13 again. Again, if you're paying attention, there are times when you can actually get in and win. Now, and that's in the short term in terms of looking at trades. When I look at this right now, I kind of sit back and I kind of go, yeah, just don't forget that, using dollar cost averaging is going to help me a lot over time for things that I know I'm going to hold for years, right? I'm buying it and throwing it over there and not thinking about it unless, I'm looking at the market and things are taking a serious downturn. But I'm mostly just putting it over there and leaving it there. What I'm looking for over here in terms of, trading are nice moves. Like we had been in the 18s for Bitcoin. We had been in even the 11s for Ethereum. These are places where I could have purchased and I could have made a couple of bucks real fast, right? These are the things that I'm paying attention to. Anyway, if you want to take a look at the long list, this is what the long list looks like. Ooh, not beautiful. So yeah, I mean, you have movers. Quant was moving a lot. Quant moved a lot, like I noted earlier, just a few minutes ago. But I'm not seeing anything that's really telling me that what I have chosen moved in a big way. UFO gaming, interesting. He moved. Hadn't noticed that. I bought UFO gaming a long time ago. Really long time ago. What was it? Mid last year, I think. Just as a gamble. Them and Gala, just bought them as a gamble. Just put them over there. Not even thinking about it anymore. So it's just nice to every now and then see even small moves like that. Like I said, Pocket Network. If you bought Pocket Network yesterday, it's up 21% from yesterday. So I mean, in the past hour, it's up 10%, almost 10%, 9%. Doing your own research gives you the ability to start recognizing trends. The more research you do, the more easy it is for you to recognize trends, and trends being opportunities. Opportunities to either avoid loss or even make money. That's why I do this. That's why I teach my kids. This is what you should be doing on a daily basis. Think about this. You could take 10 minutes a day to do some research for your finances. And you can determine whether or not you need to make a move or not. Not for all of your finances, but for some of your finances that require a little bit more management, or at least a little bit more awareness. This is why I preach, do your own research, so that you can develop those skills and be able to see, oh, I'm seeing a pattern here, or I'm seeing a trend, or I'm noticing that something could pop in a little bit, or I notice that something could drop in a little bit. This is why I do my daily research. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and absolutely hit that notification bell so that you know when I drop a new video. Don't forget to tell your friends. Have a good day. Bye.